Stay down!
It's gonna look. I know you're there. I can see you.
Hello, Lethal Dose 50X here with an episode of Planetside 2, The More You Know. Today's episode is going to focus more on my gameplay experiences regarding the Spitfire Auto-Turret, and me giving advice on how to improve your Spitfire Auto-Turret gameplay as well. In the previous episode, I talked about the mechanics on how the auto-turret operates, and I will refer to that episode during today's episode. If you missed it, I highly recommend checking it out at some point. Let's get started on gameplay. When I first started to use the Spitfire Auto-Turret, I decided to babysit it, which basically meant I would stay near it and repair it if it gets slightly damaged. Quite often, it would get shot to the point of death, and I would no longer have a turret to help out. I just became a simple engineer, unable to provide a force multiplier. Since I was babysitting it with a repair tool, it may have been better if I just used my anti-infantry turret. When looking back at my babysitting footage, I realized I was not being really helpful in a battle, so I decided to reanalyze my gameplay when considering bringing my auto-turret. When deciding to use the auto-turret over my other turrets, there were a few things I had to keep in mind, and the overall big question was I going to have time to use my anti-infantry engineer turret or anti-vehicle engineer turret? If the answer was no, I would then opt to bring my Spitfire turret. There were 4 scenarios where I would consider bringing the auto turret. The first scenario was if there were a lot of friendly mechs units in the area. This meant I would need to be repairing and dropping ammo a lot and could not operate a turret. I would bring the auto turret and place it somewhere because it would increase our team's overall damage per second while I repaired mechs units and vehicles. The second scenario that could suggest bringing the Spitfire auto turret was being in a tank in an area. This worked well when I was using a lockdown mode prowler, or I was in a slow-moving tank like a Vanguard patrolling a small area. Since both the max escort scenario and the slow tank or the lockdown tank scenario are strategies that are vulnerable to light assaults with C4, the turret would alert me to danger and potentially eliminate the light assault. It again increased our team's overall damage per second in the area. A third scenario was if I was going to use the grenade launcher or smoke launcher a lot in a battle, basically using my weapons instead of my turret. The Spitfire auto-turret would just be placed to guard my back from flankers or provide a distraction. The advantage here is that the turret can shoot through smoke with no trouble. The last scenario was when I was placing booby traps around a friendly sunriver. I would place my auto-turret down somewhere and then put some anti-tank mines and anti-infantry mines throughout the surrounding area. Once all my mines were placed, I would resupply at the sunriver with a different loadout, or still bring my Spitfire auto-turret if the previous scenarios were going to take place. You have to remember to resupply at a terminal to reacquire your Spitfire auto-turret because you can only carry one. I rarely concluded that I should bring my Spitfire turret over my other turrets, but there is one main theme where I would recommend the Spitfire turret over the others. Basically, I chose to use the Spitfire turret if I predicted I would not have time to use my better anti-infantry or anti-vehicle turrets. The idea is to increase my team's overall damage per second either offensively or defensively. The turret potentially provides something different for your foes to shoot at, which reduces the overall damage per second your team can receive. You can even catch an enemy in the middle of a victory reload after the player kills your turret. There were a few good traits of the Spitfire turret I took advantage of when considering the synergy with my loadouts. I took advantage of the turret's sphere of engagement. This saved me time in deploying the turret. I would not take any time thinking what direction my turret should face, since the turret is able to aim 360 degrees around itself, including above and below. The turret attacks things in a sphere, so I just placed it down somewhere and continued on. I took advantage of the turret's ability to aim up significantly better than its ability to aim down. I would place the turret in low areas and it would engage sneaky light assaults or enemies that took the high ground. I would also take advantage of the distraction it provides and its ability to see through smoke grenades. It has certainly saved my life when running away with my smoke grenade launcher. I also used it in conjunction with proximity repair senders since they can repair it. The Spitfire turret does have its negatives though. The most annoying part about the Spitfire Auto-Turret is that you can only carry one at a time, which is fine I guess for balance reasons, but I do recall times where I would place the Spitfire turret early, and then the battle changes and I want to place my turret in a new spot, but I can't because I used it earlier. As a result, I would hold off using it and end up not really using it. In my opinion, I feel like the Spitfire Auto-Turret should have a cooldown after use, similar to a max unit's dash ability or the Vanguard shield. Cooldown that is long, so an engineer can place one every 90 seconds or something, or whatever number of seconds seems appropriate for balance reasons. Perhaps a player could put certs into the Spitfire turret to reduce the cooldown. And maybe resupplying at a terminal could reset the cooldown as well. If they implement this tactic, engineers would be able to enjoy using their turret buddies more instead of having to resupply all the time. I honestly felt like I had to resupply way too much when using this turret since you can only carry one. That's just my opinion on how it should change. Overall, the verdict. Should you unlock the turret with cash or certs? In my opinion, no. There are far better things to spend 1,000 certs on or spend big cash on. If you already have all of your favorite toys, sure, why not? But I feel like you should look at other options. Well, that's it for today's episode. If you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe for videos similar to this one. I hope it improves your gameplay. Leave a comment below if you think the Spitfire Auto-Turret should be changed or not. Do you agree with me, or do you have a better idea to change it? Let's see what happens. I'm LethalDose50X, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.